So today I'm going to present to you how I would do a lesson inspired by the video of easy ways to solve word problems. I chose this activity because word problems are always a problem in my class. It seems like the highest learners have an innate ability to solve word problems quickly. That's about 20% of my class, and the other 80% struggles with word problems, and they need a lot of practice and great strategies to be able to solve them successfully with independence. So I'm going to incorporate this into a unit called Ordering at a Restaurant. It'll fall under the New Jersey World Language Standards for culture. Healthy eating habits and fitness may vary across cultures. Topics that assist in the development of this understanding should include foods, shopping, eating at home or in restaurants, and wellness activities. So for the cross-content standards for mathematics, I'm going to focus on the mathematical practices of making sense of problems and persevering in solving them. Model with mathematics. My children will have to solve the problems on a written receipt sheet. Attend to precision by checking their work. And look for and make use of structure. And this means that they'll apply the same structure over and over to each of their word problems using the strategies that are presented in the video. So the vocabulary that they will already have to know in Spanish for me to complete this activity is dólares, centavos, cuesta, suma, multiplica, subtotal, total, lo que sobra o queda, hacer cambio y los números 0 hasta 10 para hablar sobre el dinero. I will be presenting the students with a realia of menus in Spanish language for them to use during this activity. So basically for the introduction, I'll present the menus to the children and I'll tell them I'm going to be giving them $10 to spend and that they can buy anything they want off the menu as long as it doesn't supersede $10. After they choose all their items, they're going to have to make an itemized list of their items, what each of the prices are. Then I'll show them how to calculate the sales tax on the subtotal of those items. And then I'm going to ask them to make change from that $10 bill that they received. For any students who want an extension activity or they're finished early, they will have the option to loan their change out to a partner. So say they buy food items totaling $7.50. They'll make change from a 10, and then they'll be able to loan out that change to another student. At the bottom of that student's sheet and his friends who he loaned the change to, they'll both calculate in how the student will compile both of the changes and then what they can then buy from that change. Now that's just an extension activity for students who are ready for more of a challenge. This will most likely be those 20% of students that I mentioned before. So for the guided practice, I'm going to show the students samples of the menus, and I'll ask them some leading questions to get them thinking in the manner of what items cost, how to find the item visually, come up with the price, and then I'll ask them a few things about making change. So I'll say, like in English, it would be, how much does the ice cream cost? And I'll say, ¿cuánto cuesta el helado? If you wanted to buy 2 ice creams, what would that cost be? Si quieres comprar 2 helados, ¿cuántos cuestan en total? Si quieres comprar un churro para $1.25 y pagas con un billete de 5, ¿cuánto dinero sobra? Or ¿cuánto cambio recibe? That'll get them in the habit of how to make change, how to find the actual items on the menu, and how to find their price as well. Then I'll have them discuss for checking under understanding in some partnerships. Talk about, mention your favorite food item to your partner. Now tell your partner how much that food item costs. Now make change from a $5 bill, and they would have little slates that they could work with, so that they could do that math on the slate. For the independent practice, before I gave them their $10 bill, I would say, it would be great if we only had to pay for what an item costs. But in order for our government to run smoothly, we also have to pay something called tax. Now, the tax on the item is a certain percentage of the total cost. Today, I'll teach you how to calculate tax by multiplying a percentage of your subtotal. And I'll go through with the examples that we did before, buying one helado, dos helados, and then buying churros. And then we would calculate out the tax, multiplying by 0.8% for sales tax. And then I would show them how to make change. Okay. To check for understanding before I let them go on their independent practice, I would, using my equity sticks, call on a few students. And then I would have that student explain what the activity was, and they would list out the steps saying, first we need to choose items off the menu in Spanish. We're going to list those items on our receipt sheet. We're going to come up with an itemized total of those items. Then we'll calculate the tax. And next, we'll come up with a total, subtract that total with tax from our $10 bill, and show what our change would be. At the closure of the activity, I would have a few students share examples of their receipt sheets to explain what food items that they could purchase off the menu, how they calculated that subtotal of items, applied the tax by multiplying by 1%, found the grand total, and then made change from a $10 bill.